OctaSpace has a number of versatile different product ranges. Obviously, some of you may be aware, some of you may not. We obviously have a rendering platform, we have a VPN, and we have a marketplace. If you're interested in checking out the rendering platform, we'll link it in this video. But we're going to cover in this video how to use the marketplace and what the marketplace is. So in case you want to read a little bit about it, we do have an area on the main website. But suffice it to say, it's based on democratized computing principle, where people provide their own hardware, different specifications located across the entire globe. We support a wealth of different architectures, obviously Intel GPUs, NVIDIA, AMD GPUs. We also even, down to Raspberry Pis. So the node can provide for different types of compute services. But suffice to say, we focus on providing that computing power to run certain compute applications. What we also do is provide ready-to-launch compute applications. And we've listed some of these on the main website, but again, we'll cover some of these in the next section. All right, so let's head to the marketplace. So you can actually click on these links and it'll direct you directly to the marketplace. So when you get to the marketplace, you obviously want to authenticate or create an account. So we'll do that now. We'll log in quickly. Once you've logged in, you'll be presented with this page. Now, this is the applications page. What these are pre-prepared templates that we've made, essentially making it really simple to launch certain applications. It's something we're constantly working on and constantly updating. So we're constantly adding new applications to the pool. But effectively, these are one-click solutions so that, especially for non-technical users, if they want to launch something, it's right there, right? They don't need to configure anything special. It's one-click solution. But let's quickly dive into some of these, and then we can cover some of the other aspects of the marketplace. Obviously, these are categorized as well. So if you want to obviously filter by category, you can, but let's, for the sake of this demo, quickly launch an application. Let's go with Comfy UI because that's quite straightforward. Now, once you've clicked on the application, you'll be presented with this page. Now, what this gives you is a list of hardware. Now, obviously, this has hardware from across the globe based on different pricing, specs, and so on and so on. So you'll want to choose adequate hardware for your rental. What you can do, obviously, you can start filtering based on certain criteria, right? So we have here CPU cores, how many GPUs we want, how much VRAM, and even scoring. If you want to use, you can use things like AI scores. So if you will sort this by AI score and click over here, you'll actually see what the highest AI scores are. What we do is every single node that comes onto the marketplace, we actually benchmark. And so that's what these AI scores present. So if we go back to the actual hardware, if you want to see the pricing in USD equivalent, you'll click on this. And again, if you want to look at it in Octa, you click on this. So now we have all this various hardware. One aspect to note when you're looking at a node to rent, so you can see here the specifications. You also want to pay attention to the internet speed as well, because obviously the faster it is, the quicker it'll actually load the template application. But another thing here is you can actually look at the pricing breakdown, because what you're seeing here is the basic base price. But some nodes come with their own additional costs for drive and traffic. Now, in this instance, we can see that this node has a base price of 0.682 octa per hour. There is no storage cost, so it doesn't charge anything. And there is a small traffic of octa per gigabyte cost. But in generally, it doesn't seem like a lot. So if we look at that and we click on that, once you've chosen a node, you'll be presented with this page. Now, in this page, if we're looking at it just from a basic aspect, you'll want to change this to depending on how much space you're going to need for whatever you're doing. So in the case of, let's say, Comfy UI, obviously Comfy UI is a great tool for generating various AI images, videos, anything really. Obviously requires an in-depth understanding, but if you want to install various AI models, some of them may be 30 gigabytes. You're going to obviously need more because then you add LoRa's, etc., etc. So let's say for this demo, we're going to look for, adding 200 gigabytes. So what we've done is allocated now 200 gigabytes to this session. So that should give us plenty of leeway. Obviously, you do have some of these extra elements, but those are really for more technical users. Ultimately, all you need to do is just allocate the disk space and then you just click deploy. Once you get to that stage, you're going to see these statuses. So you're going to see it say pull. Now what it's doing is pulling the container image. So all our applications come in pre-packaged Docker containers. And so this will download that Docker container. And then once it's ready, it will say ready. Okay, now we can see that the Docker container has downloaded and it's changing statuses now to waiting HTTP services. Once it says service configured, you'll be able to click on the actual UUID. And now what we can see here is you'll have HTTP services. For certain ones, we also enable SSH access. So for Comfy UI is one of them where you can actually load up SSH access. If the service is ready, you'll be able to click on this and it should load up the interface. And as we can see here, it's loading up the Comfy UI interface. Right. Now, if we go back to this, we can also click on Access Web SSH and we can see it's loaded up the terminal. So this is, in a nutshell, just how to quickly launch an application. If we want to terminate the session, we can just click stop all sessions or click here and stop session. Just one thing to note, while we do try and track when a container is fully ready, there are instances where a container is taking a long time to download us. And this is often prevalent in cases where there's a massive AI model, let's say, being downloaded. So for example, for Hunyuan video, that's a 30 gigabyte model. And it may get to where it says service configured and you click on it, it may load up a 503 screen. That doesn't mean the service isn't working. What it means is the node is telling us it's ready, but when in actuality, the model hasn't downloaded fully yet. So you'll need to just wait a couple more minutes and then you can try the link again. Again, we're constantly looking at optimizing this, but this is at the moment something that does happen sometimes. So just pay attention to that. But let's, for the sake of this demo, end this stop session. Right. So outside of launching ready-made applications, another thing you can do is if you don't want to launch some of our applications, you can launch your own. Now how that's done is via Docker containers. And I'll quickly show that. So let's choose this node. And all you need to do is click on the node and click configure. If you do change your mind, you can actually select the app here too. But if you don't want to, if you want to load up your own Docker container, let's say you have an image name, you'll need to add some of these. So let's do that now. So I want to load up Visual Studio. So I'll paste the image name. I'll want to add the HTTP ports. And for the sake of argument for this one, we're going to say 20 gigabytes of storage. And so now we've given it a link to the actual Docker container, the disk and the actual HTTP. And now if we click on deploy, it will actually pull that Docker container. And it's already saying it's ready. And if we click on it, there we go. Yep. So Visual Studio is now ready. And it's really simple as that. And so we'll end this session as well. So just to wrap up this video, we also do have a VPN section. This is a new VPN. We're migrating from our old platform, but here you can see the actual VPN nodes that we currently have. We do have many more in the old marketplace, which we're migrating across, as I said. But you can actually use an Earth view as well here, so you can click on specific nodes and you can see, you can choose a node, choose what protocol you want to use with it. So whether it's OpenVPN, WireGuard, ShadowSox, it will tell you the actual price per gigabyte, since it's a pay-as-you-go. And again, everything in our entire marketplace is pay-as-you-go. But you can see different nodes here and obviously different pricing. And that covers some of the basics of the OctaSpace marketplace. Obviously, we are constantly deploying new features, adding new applications, and we will be doing individual videos to cover some of these applications, how to launch them, how to use them. But if you have any questions, obviously feel free to head over to our Discord or Telegram and let us know. Thank you.